we heard the praise from Nathaniel Hackett that he has been a force so far this offseason. Hopefully he can maintain that and stay healthy. But for Bradley Chubb, he's entering a very pivotal year in his career. As we've discussed at length, and we talk about how loaded the Broncos edge rusher room is. There's one guy that we've all talked about that we found out last week that he wanted to make the move to edge rusher. The team also wanted him to make it, and that is Baron Browning. What did Bradley Chubb have to say about how he's approached working with Browning as he makes this transition?
Yeah, man, it's crazy when it comes to Barry, man. Just the natural skill set he has for the position, it's amazing because you'll see him go out there and he just throws his shoulder down. To him, it feels like he's just doing that, but on film, it looks like the craziest thing ever. You know what I mean? And he's just trying to keep coaching him up, he's coming over to the house and asking me what he sees from his playing and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to be there for him, like you know what I'm saying, Vaughn and those guys were for me when I first came in, first moved to the position. So it's been great to see all the natural things he has already, and once he starts adding in those little details, it's going to be over with for him.
He's mentioned, obviously, Browning's been working with him, but he's also mentioned in whole that the entire Broncos edge rusher unit, they've been going out and they've been having dinner together. They've been a tightly knit unit, and it is a loaded room, and they're all trying to help each other get better. Love to hear that about Baron Browning and how he's progressing along. Obviously, the expectations of a position change are very high. Your thoughts here on Bradley Chubb becoming that mentor role now for some of these younger guys, the way that, as he alluded to, Von Miller was for him.
I just think it's so great, right? It goes all the way back to Vaughn really getting poured into by a guy like DeMarcus Ware and how different things were before DeMarcus Ware came to the Denver Broncos. Of course, Elvis Dumervil was on the roster when Von Miller was drafted, and that was a fun duo to watch for a couple years, but things changed around for Von Miller just in terms of his life trajectory, first and foremost, when DeMarcus Ware showed up and really became that mentor to him. And then Vaughn took so many different players under his wing. It didn't matter if they were the 5th overall pick in the draft like Bradley Chubb, or if they were undrafted free agents like Shaquille Barrett and Malik Reed. It didn't matter to Von Miller. He was willing to take those guys under his wing, and he's done such a great job of that, including building the pass rush summit, which is another way just for any pass rusher in the NFL to go and learn from one of the best to do it over the last decade plus. And you love to see that. You love to see Bradley Chubb really taking what was done for him and doing it for somebody else. That's a great sign of humility. Bradley Chubb's not, it's his contract year. He has every reason to be out there and be selfish and to just be like, you know what, I'm focused on myself, focused on staying healthy, focused on helping, this team. But he's out there, pouring into these young guys, which is great to hear. He talked about Baron Browning. He talked about Nick Bonito. He talked about the gelling that they're doing just outside of their field work. It's really great to hear. And Bradley Chubb, I think, is one of those guys that we've heard George Payton, the general manager of the Denver Broncos, say nothing but great things about him. I feel like he truly is a core player for this team, and he's exemplifying that with the way that he's leading the young guys at his position group.